in here, and I'll fire up the encoder, and you are good to go.
Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us for our 4th episode of Trash Pandas, where we talk about trash and trending TV. Trash is kind of like reality, all that stuff. So we are happy that you guys are joining us, and thank you so much for your support. If you have anything you want to talk to us about, too, feel free to comment. We are reading them live. And let's just get right into it. Lindsay, how was your week?
Well, I think my week was probably like a lot of other people's week, where we were like staring at the news and going, what the hell is happening in the world?
Absolutely.
So there was a lot of that going on. What did I watch? Oh, Naked and Afraid XL just starting on Sunday nights, and I am like so obsessed with Naked and Afraid. I don't know why. It's not the fact that they're naked. It's, I mean, it might have a little to do with that, but
a little bit to do with it.
the vulnerability. But honestly, they do like this XL challenge where it's like they put them in the worst terrain possible in Africa, and they're like, survive, and there's all these different groups that are trying to survive, and they can banish each other now. So they added like this whole new element to it. So I've been deeply involved in that. So that's something I've been doing.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that comes on right after 90 Days. So it's like easy to watch.
I haven't watched it, but I am curious about them banishing people. So what does that entail?
So it's basically like so it goes off of where they're at in Africa. The tribe that used to live there in Africa basically was like, if you can't pull your weight, if you aren't helping the tribe, like, we push you out of the tribe. So it's like it's like the sick, the old, you know what I mean? Like, we're just going to push you out, like, if you can't pull your weight. And they can basically do those same things, like, within these groups. They're like, listen, you're not pulling your weight, you're not getting enough firewood, you're not getting enough clean water for us, you're doing nothing, and we can banish you. And already, second episode in, they've had a banishment. It is classic. And the guy was just like so pissed off. He's like, well, I don't understand. Like, I wasn't doing anything. And it's like, yeah, dude, yeah, you weren't doing anything. That's exactly why they banished you.
So first of all, is it like a group of like 4 or 5 people, or?
So what it is like, okay, so it's all of these different groups that they scatter across like this huge region.
Groups of 2?
Groups of 2. Okay. And then they add in, like, sneak upon the third person. They add them in after the group of 2 is like already established. And then eventually what will happen is, like, in these Naked and Afraid challenges is like the groups merge either into one large groups or 2 competing groups. And it's like super interesting because, like, it's all a psychological game. Like, I mean, really, that's what it comes down to is, like, these people can either, like, mentally handle all of it or they can't. Like, right. Because they're not only in, like, the hottest of hot, like, they can't even walk on the sand or walk, like, right. Like, it's so hot that it blisters the bottom of their feet. Then they're dealing with crocodiles, they're dealing with snakes, they're dealing with
monkeys, whatever the fuck.
Cheetahs, like, God. They're dealing with hyenas, like, coming after them, like, they're dealing with craziness. And so a lot of it is, like, the mental challenge of, like, can you get through this or not? And then you see, like, can people work together or can they not? And it's just, I think it's a very interesting, like, experiment into, like, human psychology of, like, what exactly goes on. Like, imagine these people, like, 10,000 years ago, like, trying to survive. There's no way. Like,
is the series like the same groups, or I know that
Okay,
in the
so-
original it's not.
Yeah,
like,
so Naked and Afraid XL is the same groups. And
Okay.
it will go on for probably like 10 episodes at least. But it's super interesting. I am obsessed with it. I love it. I think it's crazy. Who would sign up for this? Because honestly, they don't get money for this. They don't get any money. There's
don't get any compensation at all.
There's no award for this.
That's crazy.
So they're literally just doing this just to see if they can do it. Like they get no monetary compensation for.
That's crazy. I don't know if I could be in something like that where I'm not going to get like $100,000 at the end.
Right. Like, okay, like, right. $100,000 at the end, I'm like, girl.
Sold. I'll get fucking whatever these.
I'll do whatever. But like, they don't get anything other than like their survival rating, like moves
Might go up
a few notches. And I'm like,
hilarious.
you know, to each their own. If that's your thing, that's awesome. But good TV, really good TV.
So I rekindled my love of RuPaul's Drag Race this week. I have had, I don't really have like cable. I have like Hulu, Netflix. My brother-in-law shares his Plex with us. And that's kind of how I got back into it, was because I was like, oh, I saw this thing on Plex. And it was RuPaul's Drag Race, and it's season 12 now. And I went ahead and started watching it, and I was like, holy fuck, I love this show. And I forgot about how much I loved it. And it was actually like towards the series finale, or the season finale.
Yeah.
And oh my God, like these girls are fucking beautiful, first of all. Like, they are gorgeous. They're so funny. I remember watching RuPaul's Drag Race season 1, and that shit was like,
drag queens are always funny.
So amazing. I love it. And there's like new school drag, which is kind of more of like about your face and your look and how much you can impersonate a woman, where old school drag is more about like your personality and how funny you are.
Yeah.
So watching these girls do everything, hilarious, so fucking good. I loved it. And then I also rekindled my love for DP. Dr. Phil, guys. I love Dr. Phil. And he is so good, and I love my Philisms. Sometimes yes, they're so good. I will literally like be talking to someone, I'll be like, no matter how flat you make a pancake, it always has 2 sides. You know, or like, I love how like he says these things where I'm just like, oh, that's perfect. Yeah. One of my favorite ones that he said recently was, never pass up, or my grandpa used to tell me that never pass up a chance to shut the hell up. And I was like, that's so good. I really want to tell people to do that.
That's great advice. Okay, although I have my problems with Dr. Phil, I have to admit, like, his show is good programming. It is really good programming. Like, the craziness you see on there. So
it's wild.
So good. I mean, we would not have Cash Mascot, how about that? Without Dr. Phil.
I almost spit it out.
We would not have it without Dr. Phil.
Cash Mascot, how about it?
We would not.
There are so many good Dr. Phil moments that have become memes.
Yes.
That I love it. Yes. Like, there was this one girl that she was like, I'm 12 months pregnant with Jesus's baby. Like, okay, I guess that's a thing now.
Well, and his wife Robin looks like she's straight out of Saw.
Yeah, she's the crypt keeper.
She's straight out of Saw.
Like, she
and now
literally
she
is
has
like
her
a
own,
skeleton.
Now she has her own like skincare line. Which
I
they
did see that.
A whole, like, infomercial.
Oh my God.
Within the episode for her skincare line, and I was like, shame on you, Dr. Phil.
They
shame
also always promote the app that he made with his son that is like some doctor on demand, and he also always shamelessly promotes his son's like band that plays everywhere apparently.
Like, here's the thing. I feel like as long as you can watch Dr. Phil and know like overall their pieces of poop, like, that's fine. But if you watch Dr. Phil and you legit think that these people are good people.
I love watching the catfish episodes, though, because I really want to get some 90 Day Fiancé people on there.
Well, I was just going to say, like, but we have a catfish. We have a whole program called
They're
Catfish.
my favorite. Yeah, there's an entire program, right.
Like, we can tune in otherwise.
90 Day Fiancé, just reference your people straight to MTV for catfish instead. Like, we don't need your shit on our shit.
And Nave is so much better than Dr. Phil.
Yeah, that's
Nave
true.
is so much better than Dr. Phil.
That's
Okay,
true.
so 90 Day.
90 Day. The last episode before the actual reunion. We've been talking about this for a month now, saying that it's the last episode. It's really the last episode, guys.
It truly is.
And it straight up was appropriately named The Never Ending Story, which is exactly how I would describe this entire season. Has just been wild, and it never ended.
It's been one big hot mess. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, so Joffrey and Varya.
Joffrey and Varya. There's a lot to say.
Okay, so Mary shows. So last time we left off, Varya and Joffrey were at a bar with his friends. They were playing pool, and Mary shows up. Apparently, Mary is friends with all of these people. So she just like walks right in, and she's like, hey, how you guys doing? And it makes everything super awkward. Super awkward. But you can tell that like Joffrey loves like every second.
He's smiling the entire time.
He has this smirk
like,
on his face that he's like, I love every second of these two women fighting over me. Like, I love it. He's a narcissist, so there you go. So he talks to Mary off to the side, and he's like, you have to know that I didn't know that she was showing up, and I was just as surprised as you were. And she's like, she cries, and she's like, I don't know like what to do. And he's like, basically not saying I'm gonna drop Varya for you, but he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
He says, in so many words, he just says, like, I hope I don't lose my friendship with you.
Right.
Which, to me, like, if I was her, automatically I would assume you're dumping me. You're dumping me to be with this other girl.
Right.
And it's like, why were they even together to begin with? Though?
Right. And I'm sorry, but if you have any question in your mind about why you're with me, then bye.
Same, yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I don't have time for that. I don't need that. I'm not gonna sit here and fight for you. Like, if you don't want this as much as I want this, then we're not on the same page. We need to split ways. I don't care how good of friends we are. Like, it's done. It's done.
Absolutely.
I don't care how long I've been in your life for. We're done. So he doesn't offer her any comfort. In the interview, he says that he hopes Mary respects whatever he ends up choosing. But, like, it's like, dude, give me a break. Like, you took her on a date. You basically said that you guys were going to go ahead and be exclusive. And now you're like, oh, well, I hope she respects whatever I choose. No, dude. Doesn't work like that. Does not work like that.
If you think it does, you're wrong.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Right. Like, bye. So Varya then takes Mary to the side. Oh my God, this ends really well. So Mary isn't having any of it. She's like, well, why did you show up here? What was your intention? Why did you just show up out of the blue and blah, blah, blah. And Varya she asks why the F she's there. Why the F are you here? And Varya said if she wants the best for Joffrey, that she would stay away. And he doesn't love her. Varya tells Mary this.
Okay, but that's true. He doesn't love her. He literally used her as a fucking backup. She was a backup
She
plan.
was a backup plan.
And that pissed me off because I was like, guy, first of all, if you were so in love with this woman, you would have never moved on to another woman so quickly. And then you're going to have her come to you. Well, he didn't have her come to him, but she comes to you and you're like, oh, I don't know what I want. Like, either be like, fuck off to the other one, or be like, fuck off to the first one. Like, you only have two options.
Right.
Like, fuck off to one, fuck off to the other. I guess you have a third option, fuck off to both of you. You know what I mean? So you got three options. Which one are you going to do? And then you're not even going to fucking give the girl the actual, like satisfaction of being like, okay, at least this guy is telling me to piss off. Like,
right.
Fuck that guy.
Well, he can't even give, like, Mary the decency to be like, I'm going to try to make this work with Varya. Like, he's just like, I don't know.
Whatever I decide, I hope you're okay with that.
I'm like, ew, you're gross. I hate him. So, anyways, Mary says that she gives the relationship between her, Varya and Joffrey 6 months. She's like, I give it 6 months. And this
so optimistic.
This really pisses off Varya, and she just like leaves. She's like, I've had enough, and she just leaves. And then Joffrey ends up like following her out of the bar, and it's like, blah blah blah.
Holy fuck! She just filled up my wine.
Sorry.
And it's like a half a box of wine.
I have a box.
We have a box of wine.
I got a box, and like, I'm sorry, there's a little.
This is a lot of
wine.
This
little spricket, and it doesn't tell me when it doesn't tell me when to stop pouring. So I'll just keep pouring.
She used to be a bartender. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're moving on.
She used to be a bartender.
We're moving on. Yeah,
you're drinking out of a brandy glass.
I know, but that's all I have right now. That's all I have right now.
Okay.
I boxed up all my wine glasses.
Don't start your shit. Okay. So, do you want to continue talking? We'll continue talking about Varya and Jeff. Okay, so Varya and Jeff decide they're going to continue their relationship. They're going to move slowly along. Jeff kind of shows her all of Knoxville, and Varya's like, I like the countryside. And Jeff's like, really? Because when we were in Russia, you said you were a city girl. Yeah. So that's weird how she made that total change of personality. But anyways, so they go around Knoxville and she meets Jeff's kids. And Jeff's boys kind of put him on the spot, and they were like, so Mary was in the house when Varya showed up, so what's going on? And they talk it all through, and they seem to really like Varya. They say that, like, they think that, like, Varya balances out their dad. It was fine. I mean, whatever. And Varya's like, I like your kids, and blah, blah, blah. Like,
right.
Super heartwarming, whatever. I don't care. So they go to this cute spot, like, in Knoxville, where they, like, make all these wishes, and you have to, like, this spot in Knoxville is where, like, you have to write down a wish, and, like, you tie it to, like, a spot in the park, and your wish supposedly comes true after that. And so him and Varya write down their wishes, and they tie it up, and then after they tie it up, Varya turns around, and Jeff is on his knee, and he's re-proposing to Varya. And of course she says yes, blah blah blah. Here's my thing. Varya, before all of this happened, was like, if he doesn't propose to me, then I don't see a future for us. And we were like, well,
that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
When he was in Russia,
right, and proposed to you,
he proposed to her, and he was like, if this doesn't work out, then I don't see our relationship continuing.
Right.
And he said that to her.
Right.
And she was like,
Right.
not right now. I didn't mean such a titty. Not right now. Which we talked about that too, where it's like, we don't necessarily agree that he should have just been like, fuck off, because, you know, she said not right now and not never. Which I totally agreed with her doing that. But her saying that this episode seemed very weird, that she was like, oh, I don't see our relationship.
And it seems like she was basically telling him, like, give me a ring or it's not happening.
So we have a question from one of our friends. Martha is asking, do we know how much time elapsed from when Jeffrey left Russia until Varya showed up? Okay. We do.
Supposedly 3 months.
3 months is what I heard. But then I also saw a thing where they were saying only a couple of weeks had gone by. So we have to like double check on that. But I think that 3 months is more like it, because she had like applied for a visa. She had to get the visa actually, you know, approved, and then actually coming over.
Right.
So I would say that is probably around 3 months. There are some conflicting stories out there saying 3 weeks. I don't think that it's possible to get a visa within 3 weeks and also fly over.
Yeah.
So we will update you on that. But for right now, we're going to say 3 months.
But I would like to ask all of you, if you have any information where you found on like Reddit or any articles about Varya and Joffrey still being together, please send it to us like on our Trash Panda account, because
we are very curious.
We've
been looking,
and I've been trying to dive deep, and apparently like their Instagram live is like really elusive, and that might be because they're still under contract with TLC.
Yeah, they do still have a non-disclosure contract going on, so it is hard to find information about this. But as soon as we find anything out, we will update people too. So if you guys find anything, feel free to share it with us.
Yeah.
And as we find out stuff, we will also share it with you.
But also, I wanted to add that when I was looking on Reddit, it said that that like Varya was like defending him hardcore on Instagram.
He was, yeah, Varya was.
Yeah, and that like Jeff was very elusive about like who he was still in a relationship with and all of that. So like if you guys find anything about that, that would be very interesting. Also, I also heard that she turned down doing the TLC reunion because Jeff wasn't invited. So
which we're actually not okay with. Not that we're not okay with it, but that we were kind of surprised by that.
I was surprised by it,
both of us were surprised by it, because we want to know what Varya's story is. We want to hear from her exactly what happened and how she felt during everything. And Jeff has not been asked to come back. So,
and like honestly, the only reason I can think why she would turn down the TLC reunion would be because she was still with him.
Right.
I mean, because if you were not with him, why not just go on TLC and air all the dirty
just
laundry?
blast it.
Like blast
just
him.
blast it. Like,
Right.
That's what I would expect. I did hear from one of the groups that we are part of on Facebook and everything, is that he was defending her, saying that, you know, if anybody talks shit about her or whatever, that he would delete them. Like I said, we don't actually know the legitimacy of that, and we will look into that for sure and keep you guys updated on the couples and what's happening with them. But there is a lot there in that relationship, Varya and Joffrey. That's definitely something that we're interested in, and it's hard to find information about. So.
Yeah, and I don't know how TLC is just gonna like completely brush off that storyline for the reunion.
Right.
Like, I feel like there has to be some kind of wrap up for him, even if we aren't hearing from Joffrey, which I'm not saying that we should hear from Joffrey, because I do think that he is a POS. But it would be nice to just
point of sale system.
point of sale system.
Perfect.
Yeah, he's a point of sale system. But I would like to know, honestly, like, are they still together or not? Like, just give us that. Like, are they still together or not?
We just want to know.
That's all I want to know.
Just like everyone else wants to know.
That's it.
Okay, so we're going to move on from Jeff and Varia because we all know that that's a fucking shit show. A lot of these people are already back in America, so it really doesn't matter. We're already pretty well versed in what's going on with them, but Lindsay, go back.
Let's move on to the next shit show. Usman and BGL.
Baby girl Lisa. Wait, show them your.
Okay,
she has a tribute.
Wait, hold on.
She has a tribute to baby girl Lisa.
I
BGL.
didn't. Wait, hold on. I feel like we should wait till the wedding. But okay.
We're gonna do it now.
I'm doing an ode to baby girl Lisa.
Look at her beautiful
clip
clip
in my hair. Can you see it?
Yeah, they can see it.
I'm doing.
She has her red hair BGL clip in Vogue hair happening
Vogue.
right now.
This is
Kitty girl,
it. This is Vogue wedding. Vogue
It's
wedding.
So
yeah,
we love it.
So good. Like I just need like a crazy ass dress on.
We will talk
and I would
about.
just be so BGL right now. So I'm so BGL.
She's feeling BGL.
This is honestly, like before we started this podcast, I was like, hey, should I just do a tribute to?
I think yours is way better though because she actually has like a bump kind of thing
she
happening.
does like something like way up here. Like it's like this. She does more of like a rooster look, something like this. And mommy's like,
why doesn't that look bad?
I mean, I could just do a heavier bang.
Heavier bangs.
Heavier bang.
BGL and Usman, we left off last week with her basically just like airing out their dirty laundry
in front of
his entire family. Yes, like what is happening? Why are you doing that? If I'm going to like make it a point to talk about why my boyfriend is such a dick, it's not going to be to his own family. Okay, that's like seriously, that's a terrible idea. I'm not sure where she was going with that, how she thought that was going to be a good thing. Their wedding was the next day. So why would you even bring that up? Like,
okay, so
none of that makes any sense.
Last time we saw them, she was having a conversation with this man and his brother, and she basically like just aired out all their dirty laundry. And then Usman was like, let's go, girl, like, and just aired out more
If we're going to do it, let's do it.
And he doubled down and he aired out more stuff. And I think his brothers were just shocked. And she ended up storming off. And so the next part that we see, which is in this episode, they're in a hotel room. And of course, they're talking about, like, how they're going to get over it. And how they're going to still get married, and he needs her to trust him, which this has been the conversation all along. Like, you need to trust me. This is who I am. This is what I do. Like, blah, 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 blah. It's just like the same old tired story. Like, that TLC could have seriously ended 10 episodes ago.
Forever
because it's so annoying and it's so stupid and I'm so sick of hearing about it.
I feel like this entire season could have been ended 10 episodes ago.
This season sucks. Okay, so anyways, so then she ends up talking about new beginnings. Well, we're gonna get married. Everything's going to be different, and it's not gonna be different. Like, it's not gonna be different. Like, nice try. Like, we can all decide, like, you know, our abusive relationship is somehow going to be different, and then it's not going to be different. You know what I mean? So, BGL's wedding look. This is the look.
That's the one.
This is the hair, basically. It's a 90s little clippy in her hair like this, and she has all these like crunchy hairs all around, and then she puts her veil over the 90s clippy, and she's in a horrific dress that's made out of taffeta. I mean, I guess it's like locally made, so that's kind of cool, but like, girl, no.
I feel so bad because during their wedding, you can't tell whether or not it's a funeral or a wedding.
Oh my God, I said the same thing. That is what I wrote down. Girl, I was literally like,
tell.
I go, their wedding ceremony, they look like they're at a funeral. Like literally, mommy, why are you calling her mommy? Oh. Anyways, so mommy is literally like this. And I'm like, okay, is that like a cultural thing where they just don't show a lot of emotion?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that could be the fact, but like everyone there looks freaking miserable. Like, it doesn't look like a good time. It looks awful. Anyways, they get married and then they go off to the reception where Lisa can't join in any of the dancing because that's like
women don't dance.
Prohibited in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. She can't dance with the men. And then Usman sings a song. Baby girl, I'll be there for you. Baby girl, I will pray for you. Baby girl. And then he goes, I wrote that. Okay, dude.
It's all he does the entire time is basically sing
that
fucking song.
Also, when they get married in the ceremony, the priest is like, say her name, and he's like, Usman Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. Like his last name is Soldier Boy.
His last name.
Usman Soldier Boy.
Usman Soldier Boy.
Like, listen, dude, we already have a Soldier Boy.
Dude,
you can't be a Soldier Boy as well.
Your rapper name can't legally be your last name unless you legally change it.
I guess he could.
He could.
But with how hard it is to change
he
name
could
anywhere else, I feel like maybe it's not a thing over there.
It's so funny, though. Usman Soldier Boy.
Usman Soldier Boy.
Okay, so, yeah, their wedding. So,
it's a nightmare.
The next day, Lisa has to leave back for the States. She's crying. She's so sad to leave her best friend. And Usman takes her to the airport, walks her to the gate, and they say goodbye. And that is it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to obviously get the 90-day visa for a fiance.
The K1.
Yeah, the K1. Okay, so next couple, Lana and David.
Lana and David, that's the saddest couple. Because I really feel like Lana knows all the right things to say to make it seem like she's very interested in David, to make it seem like she wants to come to America for the right reasons, to make it seem like they have this like full-on relationship.
Yeah.
But then when you're watching it, it's like he hugs her, her arms are by her side. He kisses her and she kind of like winces and then he'll kiss him back. Like, it's very weird.
Her body,
the way that they do everything.
Her body language is very, I don't want this.
Yeah.
But what she says is totally different from that.
Agreed.
So it's a very weird thing. It's like, is it just like a cultural difference where she is just not comfortable with like that kind of like PDA, or is it that she really is not into this?
Yeah, that she just doesn't, she's not really interested in him at all. And it's really difficult to like decipher though, because like I want to give her the benefit of the doubt.
For sure.
Because I don't know her and I don't know what her culture is like.
Right.
However, like it's just, it seems like she's not interested, and it's just, I just don't know. Like I don't personally know how to feel about it. From my perspective, from what I've seen, I don't think that it's genuine. I don't think that she actually cares about him. I think that she wants the money and the items. Speaking of which, he gives her a new iPhone.
Yeah.
And she seems like she's upset about getting it. And then she goes, oh, well, because it will help us to get off of the website and onto just talking to each other, I will accept the gift.
So, and that's the thing too that makes it makes it hard to read like what she's actually about, because like she's like, I'm gonna accept this gift so we can get it off the site, because we know the site is paying her.
Yes.
So
Well, she says it's not, but
it is. And
we know that
it is. And so then we're just, it's like, okay, so she's getting off the site to talk to David. So maybe she isn't in it for the money. Maybe she is really in it for the relationship with David. But then at the same time, it's like, but your body language and everything else points to the fact that you're really not into this dude.
Well, also the fact that he hires a private eye, and he sends him all of these extra, websites with her profile and everything. And David is going through all of them saying, oh, well, this one says she's in the wrong city, or this one says that she's in the wrong. And as somebody who has had people pretend to be me on social media, I can see why maybe that would be a thing. I have had multiple Facebook shutdown of people stealing my profile pictures or my modeling photos and stuff. So I get it. But at the same time, it just doesn't seem like that's like what's happening here.
No.
I don't know. It's hard to decipher.
I feel like she's being coached, and like everything that she says is like the right thing to say. Like,
yeah, she always is saying the right thing.
She's always saying the right thing.
You're right.
I wish he would stay around longer. I wish
we feel a connection with each other.
We do feel a connection. With each other.
We're attracted to each other.
Even though all of her body language says completely opposite of what she's actually verbalizing. But like I said, I don't know, could be, who knows. But on his last day, David goes out and he wears a cool hat along with his leather jacket, which is also very cool. He's sad that Lana never spent an overnight with him, and he makes this kind of a big deal, and he's worried about how she's like hot and cold, because the whole time he's there, like she'll like go out with him for dinner, but then she'll like be MIA for 2 days, where she's like, oh, I have other things to do, and like so she won't be spending time with him.
She has to babysit, or she has hockey games, or she has like something going on.
But okay, so for me that also goes back to like, if you want to spend your time with somebody, you're gonna figure out a way to spend a time with somebody.
Make time for it.
Right. So to me, that's just like a red flag to be like, no, there's no way. Like, obviously she's not into you.
Right.
So on his last day, she sees him off to the airport, and he thinks like this is a really big deal, and he's really excited about it, which I'm like, I would be so pissed about that whole trip, but whatever, dude.
Same.
They say goodbye at the airport, and David does the classic turnaround at the airport. There's always a great airport moment in every TLC
every
season,
episode,
and
every season,
and almost every episode. And this was our great TLC airport moment where David is about to go to the security, and then he just turns around and he's like, I'm not ready to say goodbye. And he comes up to Lana and he gets down on one knee and he proposes.
Will you marry me? Every single season. We have one of these. Every season.
And it's Soup's Ock.
Soup's Ock.
Soup's Ock.
We're going to make that our new catchphrase, just Soup's Ock.
Soup's Ock. Lana says yes, but then like she's like, I don't know, I'm gonna tell my family this because it's happening really fast and like it's really unexpected. And I'm like, girl, this is not happening.
Well, not for you two.
It's not happening.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not happening. So yeah, she got a ring and he went off, and he's like,
I feel like he's gonna go off into nothingness.
He said something really creepy too. He's like, now she's mine. And I'm like, ew.
Yeah, don't like that.
Ew, you don't own her, dude.
Do not like that.
You
no,
don't
thank you.
own her. Okay, next couple. Yolanda.
Where were you?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Call Neve.
Call me.
Call Neve because you've been catfished. TLC, please do better casting research. I am done with catfishes. I am done with them.
I feel like that we already have a show for that.
TLC, I'm done with it.
Move them on to catfish.
Bye. It's over.
We're done.
It's so stupid. I have no interest in hearing about it. It's the dumbest thing of all time. Yolanda, you're a super cute girl. I love you, but what the fuck? Okay, next person, Ed.
Big Ed.
Big Ed. So Ed comes home and he's meeting up with his daughter. His daughter hasn't talked to him in a very long time because basically his daughter was like, what the hell? Why are you dating a woman that's 6 years younger than me? This is a really bad idea. This is really extremely stupid. And he just completely ignores her and just goes on and meets Rose and doesn't care and doesn't take his daughter's words into consideration at all. So they meet up and his daughter's so super cute. She basically is like, I told you so. And she's like, you know, I was mostly upset at the age gap. Like, I'm 29, Rose was 23. What could you possibly have in common with this woman? Like, there's no way. There's no way. It's just like,
yeah, and I can see that too.
it's not a thing.
But at the same time, it's like you don't know.
I guess.
Like, listen. At the end of the day, we're not here to decide whether or not Like,
I'm here to decide. I am here to decide.
Lindsay is here to decide whether or not your age is a difference.
Yeah.
I have dated guys that were considerably older than me for long periods of time.
I will be the judge, juror, and
But
executioner. What's with this thing? Do you see this thing?
But at the same time, though, like, it didn't work out for me and that guy, probably because of all the things that
you don't have in common.
That we don't have in common. Like, he didn't want to.
Like, I'm sorry.
Especially 21.
Like, I'm sorry, Ed, unless you have millions of dollars.
Keep me in. Wait,
Keep me in.
millions of dollars, I'd be like, okay, go for a plane ride. I'm going to go to the fucking bar with my friends. Like, sorry, dude. I would still,
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like that shit is stupid.
Right.
Like, yeah, I would probably just move on to the next thing. But he doesn't. He doesn't have the money. And even then, it's like, as just a human being, it's hard to have a relationship with somebody who is older than you, who has had the time to go out and party, had the time to go out and be an adult, had the time to go out and like enjoy life, while you are younger and you haven't had that and you want to go out.
Here's my thing. Rose told Big Ed before Big Ed even went to the Philippines that she wanted kids, that she wanted more kids.
Yes.
She
Absolutely
told him that, like, up front.
He should have never come there.
Right, exactly. So he
knew.
Right. Like, she was upfront with him the entire time, and he was never upfront with her. So as far as the age gap, like, whatever, maybe they could have made it work if Ed had been transparent with her and told her, like,
I completely agree with you on that.
No, I don't want any more kids.
If they were completely open about their conversation.
Yes, yeah. On the same page about,
You're
like,
absolutely right.
about where their family was going and everything. Like, whatever. But, like, he wasn't. He was a total turd. He was a total turd. He is a turd. So anyways, his daughter cries because she basically feels like her dad never took her into consideration when he was having this relationship with Rose. And he's like, I was selfish and I'm sorry and I was a dumbass. He says that. He's like, I was a dumbass and I'm sorry and I'm a human and I fell in love. And that actually made me feel like Ed was way more relatable because he was like owning it. He was like, I made a mistake and I was blinded by love, and I should have taken your feelings into account, and I didn't, and I'm an asshole. And he was like totally like taking blame for it, which made me like him a little bit more than I do, because I really don't like Ed at all. But like that made me be like, okay, like you're not totally awful. Like
no, he's not. But you know, at the same time though, it's like when you are presented with the opportunity to go do something that you really like feel like you should do,
right?
Do you sit there and say like my adult daughter is going to keep me back? So it is. I mean, I have to like give a devil's advocate on that, because like,
no, I get it. I understand. Like
if I was dating somebody online,
right, and
come meet me, I would.
Right, and he hasn't been in a relationship in 20 years.
Right. This isn't
this
isn't like his daughter is, you know.
Right. His daughter's not
15 or something.
Right. She can take care of herself, but like, I think probably he could have had a different conversation with her before it all happened and explain that.
Correct.
And that's like, I haven't had love in 28 years from a romantic partner, and I need this, and this is something I just need to do, and I need to follow, and can you please just support me? And I think that maybe that would have turned out way differently, but it sounds like he wasn't very open and honest with her about like how he was truly feeling. So
yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I feel like it could have been a totally different situation had he just been upfront to begin with.
Right.
You know, especially with his daughter.
It seemed though that they have like a really sweet relationship. Like at the end of the day,
they do.
Like,
she loves her dad.
Yeah,
obviously.
totally.
And he loves her.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Does it mean that I think that dude is mentally completely stable? No, I don't.
Don't ask a woman to shave her legs. Don't ask a woman.
Give her fucking breath mint.
Right. Don't give her a toothbrush and toothpaste.
Don't do that. Why are you doing that?
God. Oh my God. He has no.
All the things.
He has no. What's the word I'm looking for? Like not grace, but like no like couth.
Yeah.
Like no like he has no like
any kind of like
he's not good with like telling a person what they need to hear.
Sure.
Like, he's just like very like
he's not being very subtle.
No. Right. There's the thing. Subtlety is not your thing.
He's not like, hey, if you know,
no.
It's straight up like, here's some mouthwash.
You got some stanky breath.
Yeah, you smell bad. Do some shit. You're prickly. You're prickly. Wash your shit. Shave it.
Can you wash your legs? Can you shave your legs? Can you do something?
You be feeling real prickly. Like, okay, thanks, Ed.
Thanks,
we
dude.
love you. Thank you.
I got an ulcer, dude.
You were a lot of laughs. You were a barrel of laughs, and we will always forever love that about you. But other than that, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself, Ed.
Fuck off, Ed.
Okay, so that's hilarious. Okay, so the next couple, Stephanie. Oh shit. Okay, Stephanie and Erica. So
over them.
Yeah, I'm over them, but this was interesting because Stephanie comes home and she decides that she is gonna come out to her mom.
Yeah.
And this was like a really big deal for Stephanie, which I totally understand because her mom is very conservative. And so she had a lot of hesitancy to tell her like what she was really doing over there in Australia. So she goes over to her house and they're having dinner together, and it's her mom and her brother. And she's like, she just basically just comes out and is like, you know, I'm bisexual, and the reason I went to Australia was to bring Erica back with me because we had a romantic relationship.
Right.
And the whole time her mom's like shaking her head, no. And her mom's like, no, you just had toxic relationships in the past, and you're just
made me so sad.
You're just confused. You're just confused. And Stephanie was like, no, I'm not confused. Like, I'm into women and men, and I'm not confused. And the brother's just sitting there, and he says nothing. Which is super awkward. So her mom says it does make her sad because she always pictured Stephanie getting married to a Prince Charming, and getting married in Ukraine together and having a wedding in Ukraine together. And she says, like, it's not her preference that her daughter is a bisexual. It's very sad. Like, when I listened to all of that, I was just like, well, no wonder Stephanie has, like, some major issues with,
and
like,
she was concerned about coming out with her mom for a long time, and they actually, like, she makes it very clear throughout their time that she was in Australia that her and her mother are very close.
Right.
And
no, they're very, very close. Yeah.
They're very close, and she doesn't want to, like, interrupt that relationship at all.
Right.
And then during the time that she is actually coming out to her, it's really, I was actually kind of, like, somewhat emotional about it because I felt so bad for her that her mom was, you know, like, kind of shaking her head and was like, oh, you're confused and everything. And, you know, at one point, though, they do end up resolving it, and her mom is like, you know, Stephanie asks, if I am in a relationship with a woman later on, would you like me to tell you? And her mom goes, of course I want you to tell me, because your happiness is the most important thing to me. And that's really what it comes down to, is that all of the other shit, fuck that bullshit. As long as her mom is happy for her, you know, wants her to be happy and feels like she should have, like, a good relationship, whether it's a man or a woman, that's all I care about for her. I really want her to be happy.
I mean, it's like a double-edged sword, though, because it feels slightly manipulative to tell your daughter, like, well, I wish you would have ended up with a Prince Charming, but
it does. Yeah,
but
you're
we'll
right.
settle for this. Like,
you're right.
Like, and to see the contrast of how her mom accepted things versus how Erica's parents accepted things, where Erica's parents were like,
that's just a fact. Like, it's just a fact, and we don't care, and it's just information.
Right, and, like, the fact that Stephanie saw how Erica's parents reacted, and then she had to go home and then hear how her mom reacted, it was, like, really sad.
I felt really bad for her.
It does.
I really did.
Sucks. Like, yeah, your mom at the end of the day is like, yeah, I do want to, whatever makes you happy, and I want to give you a hug, but at the same time, you basically just told me that's not what I prefer.
Like, I know for a fact that my family would not be like that with me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
And it's like, they would, for sure.
Yeah, my parents would be like Erica's parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would be like,
whatever. That's the thing. And so it's really hard to see somebody else do the same thing on the other side of the spectrum, where it's like they're having a hard time, or their parents just aren't understanding, or they just aren't as, you know, accepting.
But what sucks is what she said is like, it's not my preference. And I have always pictured you with Prince Charming. And the thing is like, kids really internalize that.
It's
like,
not up to you, Mom.
Like, no matter, like, if you're an adult or if you're a child, you internalize that, and you're like, you want to make your parents happy no matter what.
You do, yeah.
And so that's kind of like a fucked up thing to say to your kid. Like, oh, I'll accept you, but just know that that's not what I wanted for you. Like,
under these circumstances, I'm super happy.
Right. It's like,
but under these circumstances, I'll be happy for you. But,
like, it's just kind of like it's just like kind of, it's just not, like, I know, like, I want to give her credit and, like, be like, oh, yeah, I know you're conservative and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, But that doesn't make your daughter feel good. Like, come on, man. Like,
I feel so bad for
it's
them.
2020. Like, get with it. You live in America. Although, maybe I shouldn't say that.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Well, let's not go in there. Okay, all right. The next couple. Darcy.
Done. Been done. Darcy, you broke up with Tom on the first fucking episode. We're done.
I know,
what is the
right?
problem?
Like
Stop fucking being on this episode.
I know.
On this show.
So she basically said like she blocked Tom on all social media.
We could have established that 8 episodes ago.
But what's really weird is like, so she says that like Tom's best friend has like reached out to her and been like, hey, will you talk to Tom and his mom? Like after she turned down his best friend, then his mom reached out to Darcy and was like, hey, can you talk to Tom? Because I think he's really in love with you. And she just blocked them all.
Which, good for you, Darcy.
Yeah,
good for you.
Like, don't be manipulated.
I'm happy
manipulated by the family because he looked at you and said, "Have you gained weight?" So
fuck that guy.
Yeah,
you're not deserve you, Darcy. You're a fucking bomb ass bitch.
Right.
You've been a bomb ass bitch.
Right.
You don't need no motherfucker.
No,
you didn't need Jesse. You don't need fucking Tom.
Right.
Girl, please. Sorry, I'm talking directly to her.
You're getting crazy right now.
Tom,
you're getting crazy.
Fuck you, Jesse. Fuck you, Darcy. Use a bomb ass bitch.
Darcy is amazing. I love Darcy.
We
my
all
love
love
with Darcy. Darcy is the coolest chick in the world. That's the last couple. So what we wanted to talk to you about was there's a trending documentary on Netflix. This is a docu-series actually about Epstein, and we just want to know your thoughts, if that would be something that you're interested in hearing our commentary on or not. I know these times are really dark and really heavy, and we got a lot of shit on our plate. So would you like to keep it light and airy with more 90-day trashiness, or would you like us to dive deep into the Epstein trauma?
Here's the thing, is that at the end of the day, we're going to watch it regardless.
Oh yeah, we're going to watch it regardless.
So if you guys would like to talk to us about it, we would love to share it with you. If you guys aren't into it, then we'll save it for ourselves and we'll talk to each other.
Right.
But we want to know what you guys think.
Right.
What are you guys into?
We understand that the world is dark and scary in these times, and we would love to express our solidarity with Black Lives Matter right now. I know that they went black on today and Tuesday, and we are still streaming.
We're doing our thing.
We are still doing our thing, but
we have a time slot.
We are contributing to the Black Lives Matter movement and doing all that we can to support the cause. So basically we want to know, would you like us to dive deep into something that's kind of heavy, like the Epstein?
We're ready to do it.
Docu-series.
We are ready to do it.
Would you
just let us know?
Right, or would you prefer we keep it a little bit lighter and just focus on the 90-day reunion?
Feel free to contact us through our Facebook under Trash Pandas, all one word, capital T, capital P.
Yes.
And if not, then we understand, but we're ready to do it. We're going to watch it regardless. So if you guys are interested in keeping up with us and watching something a little bit more serious, then we would love to have that conversation with you guys. If not, we will just keep it 90-day and keep it, Bravo, and keep it all the other shows that we are watching.
And please excuse my hair this week. It was seriously just for BGL, I swear.
We love you, baby girl Lisa.
We love you, BGL. We love you.
I hope you guys saw our David and Annie,
oh yeah, David and Annie.
Oh my God.
David and Annie talked to us. So go check that out. It's on Trash Pandas
Trash
Facebook.
Pandas,
Yes. On our Facebook page.
Trash Pandas, one word, capital T, capital P.
David and Annie love us.
We love them, and so you should love us too.
Just saying.
Thanks for tuning in this week. Hopefully we'll see you all next week. Let us know what you think, what you guys are seeing, what you guys are hearing. We want to hear all about whatever you guys are talking about too. And we will see you next week.